This Reflections home has a feature inside the primary bathroom that honestly I've never seen before. And in just a minute, we're gonna check out this amazing home here in the Reflections. And ultimately, one thing to remember is that not only is this home unique, but also the builder is actually offering some amazing incentives right now across the board on all of their floor plans. And to top it all off, this home is located in the highly desirable neighborhood of Nocatee, which is located here in St. Johns County. So you know what? Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so to start off, I do want to just mention, one thing you find a lot here in the Reflections, which is in Seabrook and Nocatee, is you do find a lot of times a lot of sidewalks. When it comes to Nocatee as a whole, they have a lot of emphasis on a lot of areas to be able to walk, to be able to not have to be on the street. And because a lot of these neighborhoods, they're all very much golf cart neighborhoods, Nocatee is a golf cart community, you see a lot of sidewalks for that reason, for golf carts, for people so they're not competing with the golf carts. So definitely one of those things that, really kind of gives you an idea of the developer and their mindset with this. Another cool thing about Nocatee is roughly 14,000 acres for the whole community. But of that 14,000 acres, over 9,000 of that actually is being kept as preserve. So even though there are a lot of homes in Nocatee, and right now, as they're finishing up Nocatee, we are looking at having, 15,000 or so homes when everything's all said and done. That still is only 40% of the total land here, which is a huge, huge bonus because you're not buying a home in a neighborhood where it's all houses. As far as for this home, this is an ICI built home. This is their Santa Cruz model. A couple things you notice as we come up, they did a very nice paver front porch. This front porch, it's very inviting with the high, tall ceilings. Being the model, eventually they'll do a paver driveway with this. And obviously it is a 2-car garage, as you can kind of tell. But with this front porch, they have the tall ceilings out here. You have your columns to kind of separate the space up a little bit. They also have some corbels on the front. And as you may have seen previously, they do also have that front top balcony. So a lot of things here that just really give you that coastal, almost Key Westy kind of feel, which is very popular here in Nocatee, especially the newer sections you'll find in Nocatee. Another thing you'll notice too is they do have that hardy board siding throughout. So the hardy board siding became very popular in the early 2010s. Prior to that, we were seeing a lot of stucco siding. Now, one thing I can tell you is not just in Nocatee, but really all of Northeast Florida, stucco siding had a lot of issues in the early 2000s, which is why a lot of builders moved over to this hardy board siding because it is still a cementous material, but it doesn't have that cracking that you'll see with stucco, which then allows moisture to get behind the wall to eventually that wood frame. Does bring up another good point. Homes here do tend to be wood frame homes. It's a little different than if you're coming from, say, South Florida, where you're going to see pretty much all concrete block. And with the wood frame homes, sometimes people have pause with that, but ultimately what I can tell you is with the current building standards, wood frame homes are built very sturdy nowadays with extra tiebacks and stuff like that, extra rebar in them to kind of keep them tied into the ground. And with the storms we have here, normally we don't see any issues with wood frame that would require a need to go away from wood frame. So this is kind of the material of choice, I would say, that you do see builders use quite a bit in the area. And then as we come on in, you will see too that we had a nice 8-foot tall single door. This floor plan will probably only allow you to do a single door. There's just not enough space there to do a double French door, but very inviting when you come in with the glass elements that they have here. Really just gives you that feel of having a lot of natural light coming from the front, so it doesn't ever get too dark here in the foyer. And then also here in the foyer, as you'll see, they do have the knockdown ceilings. They have the textured walls. One thing about ICI, you can actually get rid of the textured walls and you could do smooth walls if you wanted to. It is an upgrade with the builder, but something you have that ability to do that not every builder gives you. And again, most homes in Nocatee you'll probably see will have the textured walls, so it's not like you're going against the grain if you keep the textured walls. And ultimately, they did finish it off with a nice light fixture just to kind of complete this space. along with that lighter colored wood flooring, which is becoming very popular, not only in new construction here in Nocatee, and obviously we're in the reflections in Nocatee, but you're also seeing those lighter wood floors on a lot of these pre-existing homes that are 5, 10, 15 years old here in Nocatee. You're seeing a lot of people go towards this lighter colored flooring. So that is something that we're starting to see a transition back to now that we hadn't seen previously, 3, 4, 5 years ago, because back then you're seeing more of those grays. Well, the grays are gone, the browns are not, the light browns are now in. So from there, we are now gonna check out the dedicated office. Now this is a great bonus when a builder has that ability to kind of give you this with this floor plan. Because ultimately this dedicated office, it gives you a space to be able to not have to use another bedroom for, and it still actually gives you a space you could create as a second bedroom downstairs if you had to. If you have an older relative that's living with you, they don't have to go up the stairs. So it really is a nice bonus there. And they definitely did a great job with their inserts here. And ultimately, those inserts are obviously gonna be a addition, so to speak, that the builder can offer. It's not gonna be a standard with this builder. But ultimately, as I mentioned previously, it's crazy the amount of incentives the builder's offering right now for their homes here. We're not talking $5,000 towards closing costs. We are talking some pretty crazy incentives that I will go over, further on in this video. But as we continue to move forward from the dedicated office, we do have our half bath downstairs as well as our built-in. So the built-in here, there's plenty of different options you can do with this. They did just that, herringbone, wood inlay for the wall with some additional storage for shoes. Stuff like that. It is soft close as well, so if you needed to sit down, take your shoes off, a little bit like a mud space, you have that ability. And then having the half bath here is a huge bonus. Typically with homes in Nocatee, with any builder, when you do have a 2-story home, most builders are gonna give you that half bath to be able to not have to have guests go upstairs. And they kind of completed this half bath with some nice finishes, so you do have that nice quartz countertop. They did the square sink in here, which is with Kohler. And most builders are gonna be using Kohler right now in this area. And the reason for that is here in Nocatee, not necessarily here in Nocatee, but here in Northeast Florida, Kohler does a great job with if there's ever a need to replace anything, if anything doesn't work the way it's supposed to, they have some great warranties on all of their fixtures that you can get with them. And then I will say too, the cabinets that they chose in this space, it's a very nice touch. It really complements the countertops with the quartz, and the cabinets are soft close. And I may be partial, I do like the color blue, but I actually do like the way that they went with that lighter blue color to go with the countertop. And they even have the comfort height toilet, which is something that is not always a huge cost to do with the builder, so it's always suggested because everyone wants that comfort height. It just makes a huge difference, I would say, with the space, when in use. And then as we then transition to our laundry room, I do want to mention too that all the doors in this house, they are those 8-foot doors. These actually might be 8-foot doors. And ultimately it's some nice trim casing with them as well. And then with this laundry room, it is a very cool aspect they did here. So some people are gonna love this, some people are gonna hate this, but what ICI did with this layout of the laundry room is they gave you your nice deep laundry sink in here with tons of storage to your right with this cabinetry. And then to the left, they gave us a stackable washer dryer. Now the reason I mentioned that some people may like this and people may hate this is because sometimes people do like the side by side. But ultimately for them to be able to do the space the way they did with the additional cabinetry, which by the way goes up to the ceiling as it was already shown. Again, just a beautiful touch. They really made this a focal point by doing the stackable to get the cabinetry as well as the nice herringbone backsplash and the big sink with, again, quartz countertops. Sometimes you'll see homes here in Nocatee, they may have just a standard sink. In this case, they went a little bit above that. Again, would be an extra with this builder, but ultimately it gives it a very nice, complete, high-end look that you would expect to see in a home at this price point, which by the way, we will dive into that later on as well. Do you also like the flooring that they chose? Only because this flooring does have some of those blues in it that go with the cabinetry. So it really is a well thought out layout as well as well thought out finishes that this builder chose for this home. So overall, one thing I will say is if you have any questions about some of these finishes you see or any comments, don't forget to drop those comments in the comment section below because we will make sure to answer those as well. So moving right along, one more thing I want to highlight before we go into our kitchen, living, dining is underneath the stairwell here, they did a great job of adding tons of additional storage. So obviously let's go and check out that storage real quick. One thing I love about this is they actually went all the way back into and underneath the stairwell. So you have plenty of room for anything you may have, bags, extra water in this case for the fridge. And it does kind of bring a good point that when you're living in Nocatee, because of the fact that there's so much to do here, whether if it's going to the kayak launch, if it's going to the water park, if you want to play pickleball, tennis, it's one of those things that having the extra space to keep all your things you need for that is huge. So I always joke, here in Nocatee, you can never have too much storage for the things you're gonna be doing around here. Even the garage, you see most builders will tend to give you tandem garages or 3-car garages because of the fact that a lot of people have golf carts here as well, because it truly is a golf cart community. And ultimately, it's one of those few golf cart communities we see here in Nocatee. Now, as we continue to move through the house, what you're gonna see here is we have a nice open living room. Very good size, allows you to be able to mount your TV as they show here. Obviously, as you can tell too, it's a very good size TV. This is probably about 65 inch, but you could easily go bigger as well. They do give you some extra, transom windows up top to allow more natural light in. And one of the features I love about this space is actually gonna be your coffered tray ceiling, that they not only gave you the tray to add more height, but they also did a wood inlay up there that goes with the wood on the floor down here. So really, again, well thought out to complete the look, to be able to really highlight, bring the whole space together. And that is a pretty cool ceiling fan, if I do say so myself. Then from there, we actually come to our kitchen. So the kitchen is a fairly standard layout, I would say. With this kitchen, you're gonna have your microwave oven combo. You're also gonna have your big farmhouse sink. This is a porcelain sink as well. And ultimately, you do have the option of porcelain. You could do stainless steel as well. It doesn't have to be a farmhouse style, but is a cool concept that you do still see a lot here in Nocatee because we are fairly close to the water. And so, you'll see a lot of coastal design with that. You'll also see, due to the fact that there was a lot of farmland out in Northeast Florida over the years, that has now, some of it has changed. So you'll see a lot of coastal elements as well as a lot of farmhouse elements due to those things. The countertops also are a very nice quartz countertop that does go very nicely with those blue cabinets. But at the same time, they didn't do the blue everywhere because they understand, the blue can be a little much for all the cabinets. And that's why on the outside, they did all white for the cabinets for the outer ring here in the kitchen. They still did continue the blue with the backsplash, which again highlights, like I mentioned, that coastal feel of being, again, 15, 20 minutes from the beach from this location. But it still pulls together with the cabinets, but also goes and blends very well with the white cabinets out here. And these cabinets too, they did do the 42-inch cabinets with the additional up top. So really, just gives you a nice space to be able to, store your items as well as highlight whatever you want to highlight for your guests. And also, they did do the nice oversized wood hood because with this community is a gas community. So when I say this community, I'm actually referring to Nocatee in this case. Nocatee in general is a gas community. Here in the reflections still is going to be gas as well. And so with that, you do get the gas stovetop, cooktop. In this case, they are using GE appliances. And definitely let me know in the comment section, are you a fan of GE or do you like KitchenAid or Samsung? What's your go-to appliance package for a kitchen? I'd love to know your thoughts on that because every person's different, every builder's different. So sometimes we'll see GE in some, but not in others. You do have your GE fridge here as well. So with our kitchen living room, it is very open. It's truly an open floor plan, really highlights the fact that it's a very well entertaining household. And it also opens up to our dining room, which is a very good size, well appointed space. They give you the tray ceiling in here as well to match with your living room. And they give you plenty of recessed lighting there as well, and tons of natural light with the space because of all the windows that they put in to really just highlight the space, really make it a space for entertaining for guests or for family. So overall, just very well done here. Because here in Nocatee, sometimes that is the focus, that's the goal, is it's all about having all these focal points, having these features in your house that really help you stand apart from others, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to have something a little different. All right, so then we are gonna head into our primary bedroom and ensuite. So this primary, it is downstairs, something that you're gonna see very common with homes here in Nocatee, because when you're in Florida, a lot of times, you want that downstairs primary because you don't wanna have to deal with stairs every day. You'll let the kids deal with stairs, as we joke, but for you like to have it downstairs, and that's what we see across the board for many people. So very rarely we're gonna see, second story primaries in these homes. But one thing I will say that I love all the natural light they have here. Again, that's gonna be a continuing theme with Nocatee, is that natural light. To be able to just, see, in this case, your backyard, see the nature. Because again, Nocatee very much is about nature. Ultimately that is one of their goals, when they developed Nocatee, was to really, bring nature and community together, which we really do see quite a bit here. A couple other things I like with the space, they do give you those really tall ceilings. So we have 12-foot ceilings in here. They do give you that tray ceiling as well, just to add even more height. And they even give you a nice, wood wall, with this insert they did here, just to kind of give you more of that design element. Again, something to kind of separate the space to make it a little different than all others. So definitely a cool aspect there. And ultimately, it's a great size bedroom. As you can tell, to be able to have a little reclining, little day bed over here, but still have plenty of room for your dresser and your end tables and your king size bed, just kind of shows and highlights just how good of a size this bedroom is. Then from the bedroom, it's gonna take us over to our primary ensuite. Now, you may have remembered when we started this video, I mentioned, one of those cool features that I don't see really at all, and that is in the case of the faucets here in these sinks. So the faucets here, you may notice it, I may have to point out, but they actually come out of the wall. That's something that we don't see very often. So many times you'll see that the faucet is just, coming out of the countertops, which is typically the standard you'll see around here. But what they did to really highlight this space, really, add a more high-end feature to it, is they did the faucets coming out of the wall in a brushed nickel. And they even did some nice, lighting on the sides as well, to really just give it a very high-end feel up against that tile wall up to the ceiling. So overall, I mean, great elements that they chose here. Nothing is overbearing, nothing takes over the space. It just all blends in very well and really gives it off that beautiful design element. Then on the other side, we have our walk-in shower. So this walk-in shower, they did a seamless glass enclosure. Truly a walk-in, so you don't have any sort of step down when you come in. And with this enclosure, they give us some inserts, that way some cubbies for our toiletries, kind of get them out of the way so they're not on the ground. They gave us a nice bench here as well. So again, to have this bench here, that doesn't mean you'll always use it, but to have it, it's a great bonus because you can do so many different things with it. And then with the space as well, you do get multiple shower heads. So we have our main head over there. We have our other secondary head. So again, if you've been at the beach, again, we're only 15 minutes away from the beach, great way to get the sand off your legs, stuff like that. And then it even has the rain head up top, which just finishes the look and gives you really any sort of water direction you would want in the space. And again, as I mentioned, it's all Kohler as well. And you may notice it as well, they do have the French doors taking us from our primary bedroom to our primary ensuite. And we do get our French doors as well, taking us from our primary ensuite to our primary closet. Now this closet is a very good size. And I do like the fact that this builder did a lot of custom inserts because it just kind of completes the look, and it's something that you don't always see with builders here, or really with anyone in Nocatee to begin with. So it's a great aspect because, again, as I mentioned, you could never have too much storage. And that definitely is even truer in your primary. And just because I love it, to have the little chute here for your clothes, it's a cool little aspect. That being said, what do you do when you're ready to do laundry? Typically with this floor plan, you have to walk all the way around from your primary closet out to your living room where you may have guests or friends or family to get to your laundry room. Well, one thing they did in this floor plan is they actually gave you a pocket door here to be able to just go straight from your primary closet to that laundry room that we were just recently talking about. So overall, it's a great setup the way they did that. It's something that you don't always see with different builders. It's also something you don't always see with different floor plans. Not every floor plan allows you to do that. So yeah, if you have any questions about that or any comments, if you love it, hate it, indifferent, would love to know. So don't forget to drop those comments down below. And by the way, if you've stuck around to this point, we'd love for you to like this video as well as just subscribe to our channel. Always it's greatly appreciated. Before we go upstairs though, just do want to highlight too, the builder did some really nice finishes here with the wood banister. Something that we always suggest that when you do go with a new build, if you have that option and you're building from scratch, always a good idea to do that with the builder versus after the fact, because it's always going to be more expensive and more of a mess. And they did some nice wood tread for the floor as well, which again just really gives it a nice overall look with that stained wood as we go upstairs. So with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the second floor. All right, and now we're upstairs. So as we're up here, one thing we'll get to in a second is there is a very cool little loft up here, as well as a nice front balcony that you don't always get with most floor plans, and something that you may have already seen earlier on in this video. But as we come to the rest of the second floor, we do have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms up here. So our first bathroom is going to be for 2 of the bedrooms, and in here they did it very simple. They did a lighter colored countertop, almost like a white countertop with white cabinets, with almost like a beige tile for the shower. So a lot of light colors up here. Because of the fact that there's no window in this space, it's probably why they went for those lighter colors, because you don't want it to be too dark, with any sort of space with these houses. Then from there, we're going to continue to kind of move along forward, and we're going to check out the first bedroom. So with these bedrooms, 2 of them are going to share that bathroom. This is one of those 2. And this bedroom, it's a very good size. We have a full-size bed in here with some end tables. And ultimately, this is a space that if you have young kids, which, by the way, Nocatee is a very family-friendly neighborhood. By far has one of the best school districts in the area. As mentioned previously, it also has those amenities, those Nocatee amenities. When people live here, a lot of times it's because they have kids and they want their kids to be able to live the Noc life, as they say. So ultimately, it's a great space for a young kid to be able to have as one of the bedrooms. Then we have our second bedroom as we're walking into it now. And the second bedroom is a similar size space. We have another, full-size bed in here as well with end tables. We also have a dresser in here. And the closet space in these, they're gonna be your standard closet space. But one thing I do love that they did with this is they actually did those French doors to be able to just pull out, rather than the bifolds that you sometimes will see in other neighborhoods, other builders and whatnot. And so with these doors, it's just nice. It gives it a more complete finished look, a little more high end as well with it. So now we're gonna check the last bedroom. In this bedroom, you would think, okay, why am I kind of waiting for this one to be the last one? Well, this last bedroom, it's a similar size to the other 2. It might be a tad smaller. You still have your standard size closet. You still have your full size bed with an end table and a dresser. But the beauty of this one is it has its own bathroom as well. So this is truly like a mini primary bedroom upstairs. So if you have an older child, or you have, other family living with you, that needs their own bathroom, needs their own space, it's a great bonus to have this as well. And just like the other bathroom, one thing you'll notice, they did a lot of lighter colored material for the finishes, because again, just like the last one, we had no windows in the space. So the last thing you want to do is have it get too dark per se. And they even use a seamless glass with it as well, with the tile up to the ceiling, which I love. So ultimately, it's a great space for guests, great space for family, for kids. Let me know in the comments what you would use this space for. I'd love to know your thoughts as well, because ultimately you can do a lot with it. And then, that's gonna then take us back to our loft with front porch. So our loft up here is a space that for the kids to, invite their friends over. It's a great size space to have up here. And not every loft you have the ability to do a tray ceiling with, but in this case, they had that ability, which makes the space feel bigger, more inviting, more open. And with having the windows as well, you do get plenty of natural light in here as well. And you also do get a good amount of recessed lighting. But that's not the only thing I love about the space. I also love the fact that you actually have this front balcony up here, because ultimately it's one of those things that really kind of says, okay, now I'm living in Florida, now I'm living that knock life, that coastal life. It just really gives you that Key Westy feel. And you don't see it across the board with homes here, but when you do, normally it's done in a very nice way. So, and it's a good sized space, by the way. I mean, you could put plenty of furniture out here, you could put plenty of people out here. All in all, I can't complain with that space. Then we'll head on inside next and check out the backyard. All right, so now we are outside of this home, and I just want to highlight right away, again, you have really tall ceilings out here. A lot of different options you can do with this. They left it open, but you could easily screen it as well. And it's one of those things that when you're living in Florida, when you're living in Nocatee, living that knock life, you want to be able to really be able to enjoy your outside, especially for a house like this, with the views that it has, with the amenities it has in the backyard. It's one of those things that to be able to entertain with the space is something you want to be able to do. Because with Nocatee, it's not just about the amenities around it, which are great. It's also about what amenities do you have at your own home to be able to invite friends and family, because not everyone is going to be living in Nocatee that you're going to invite over. But when you do, it's nice to have this beautiful back outdoor kitchen. So with this granite countertop, you have your stainless steel mini fridge out here. You have your trash chute as well. You have your pizza oven, or sorry, not a pizza oven. You have your Coyote charcoal grill. I say pizza oven because you do see them a lot of days now in this area. So you have your charcoal grill, you have your gas grill. So really everything you would need to have to be able to entertain people, you have with this floor plan with this house. And again, it's all about entertaining out here. It's all about being able to, have the football game going on and having, some steaks on the grill. So one of those things that it's a great bonus to have. And then from there, we do also have this nice, good sized gas fire pit. Now the gas fire pit is one of those things that you do see a lot here in Northeast Florida, because ultimately, it's not that it's always cold here, because it's really not, obviously probably in the colder areas of Florida, but it's nice that when it does get a little bit cool, you can have that gas fire pit going to be able to really, invite friends over, just another place to entertain and whatnot. And then back here as well, we do have a little bit of a backyard, but they even gave us a little bit of a drop zone area down here. So again, just another place to be able to entertain guests, because when you live in Nocatee, in this case, the reflections in Nocatee, it's one of those things that you will want to be able to entertain as many people as you can. Now that being said, this specific house, the price on this one starts actually in the high 600s, around $695 and some change, $695, $900. Obviously that's always have to change, because the builders are always going to be increasing their pricing at some point as they further build the neighborhood. in the community out. And between you and I, for this house, for this layout, that's actually a pretty good price, to have 4 bedrooms with a dedicated office, 3 full bathrooms, and a half bath. That's a great thing to have to be able to live in Nocatee. A couple things too with Nocatee, you do have CED fees. That's going to stand for Community Development District fees. And those fees are going to help pay for the amenities that you have access to. So you're going to have very low association fees because of the CED fees. It's just an extra tax that you pay yearly, that you pay in January of the year, whereas you pay your normal taxes towards the end of the year. And then as far as the incentives, currently this builder, ICI Homes, is offering roughly $30,000 to $40,000 of incentives, which is quite a bit towards Design Center when you do build with them. Sometimes they will also do lots of the month. So don't forget to reach out to me, if you want to know information about the lot of the month, because when they do the lot of the month, a lot of times they are, taking half off that lot premium, which is an additional savings that doesn't even affect those incentives they offer. So ultimately, it's always good to have a great realtor who's well informed what the builders are doing to be able to fall back on to make sure you don't miss out on any great deals the builders here are currently offering. Because with the Reflections, this is the last neighborhood that they are building here in Nocatee. That is actually why they named it the Reflections, because here in the Reflections, they want to be able to reflect back on the 15 years of building Nocatee, because Nocatee started in 2005, so it's actually probably closer to 20 years when it's all said and done. And it really has been a journey for the developer, for the builders, for the owners here. And it really has become something that people are very proud of living here in Nocatee because of the schools and the shops and the restaurants and just the daily life you can have here with friends, family, neighbors that you don't get in other parts of Northeast Florida and St. Johns County. So as I mentioned, if you want to know more, my information will be on the screen, but also will be in the description of this video. And if you have any questions, you can always put them down in the comments section. And as I mentioned as well previously, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you again on our next model home tour.